Alright, hey, I just wanted to come on here and make an impromptu video um, because we got out of work like 3 hours early today. Our boss was in a good mood, I guess, and he just was like, everybody get the fuck out of my office. And so we all got to leave 3 hours early. And I used that time to go ahead and run some errands, which was nice to get some stuff out of the way. And one of those things that I ended up doing was picking up some new books. And so I just wanted to kind of run through some of those really quick. And I also wanted to talk about some of the books that I already had but are in my TBR right now to be read next. So I'll just go ahead and get into it. First of all, I finished Dr. Sleep last night, and it was phenomenal. I'm going to do a little review on that soon. But this was a awesome book, which meant that I started The Drawing of the Three, which is what I'm currently in right now. I'm on chapter 5, I believe. This is not accurate. I was listening to the audiobook while I was running my errands and stuff today. But I'm on chapter 5 right now, and it's good. It continues 7 hours after the first book takes place. And already there's some crazy stuff of Roland, the main character, looking into another character, Eddie's mind, and able to like see everything he's seeing in real Earth, like our Earth as we know it. And he's on a plane, and Roland is in like this fantasy world. I think it's called like not Middle Earth, something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, it's really good. That's what I'm reading right now. The books that I'm going to go over the books that I already had and are going to be read in the next few months. Not necessarily next, but they'll be read soon. The first is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I started to read this as well as listen to the audiobook, and the audiobook was so bad. Like the guy who read the audiobook, he took a lot of breaths, and it bothered the hell out of me. So I ended up taking a break already from reading this, and I'm going to read it within the coming months and just do it without the audiobook. But that being said, this is on my to be read. The Stand by Stephen King. This is another, these big books are kind of what, like I'm just kind of, I gotta wait until I'm in the mood to read a big chunky book. It's nothing against the books themselves. I just need to be ready to read a big chunky book. And the last book that I already had and is going to be read soon is the fourth book of the Wheel of Time, The Shadow Rising. Yeah, The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan. I am very excited to continue this series. That being said, I'm still on a fantasy break, kind of, right now. I guess Drawing of the Three is fantasy, but it's Stephen King fantasy, which is a little different. But I'm still on my fantasy break, so I'm going to read some other books that I'm about to show you before I jump into any more of the Wheel of Time. The first book I'm going to read after I finish The Drawing of the Three is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. I think I'm saying that right, I don't know, but this book looks very interesting. From what I understand, it's about an apocalypse happens, like an alien species wipes out all of Earth, and the survivors of Earth are put into this like game show for all of the rest of the galaxy to view, where they are like going through dungeons and stuff and having to upgrade their stats. I think it's very video game like, it sounds like, but it sounds really interesting, and I wanted to check it out. And I found the hardcover today while I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, this looks really cool. And it looks really cool without this sleeve on too. I don't know, I think it looks nice. But so this is the next book that I'm going to be reading. It was kind of I only heard about this series maybe last week, and I wanted to check it out, so I was glad that I saw it there. The rest of the books are Stephen King books. I've never read any of his short stories, and I've been watching Kevin Toll's videos on Saturdays where he goes over some short stories and stuff, and it really put me in the mood to read some Stephen King short stories. So I am going to start with Night Shift, which has, I believe, 20 tales, is what it says on the back. This is one that I'm not going to read with an audiobook or anything. I want to just do short stories without that. And I think Dungeon Crawler Carl might be the same way for me. The next thing is the third book of the Dark Tower series. I almost said the Gunslinger series. The Dark Tower series. The Wastelands, which is going to be one that I'm not going to get to right away. I'm going to get through some of these other books first before I continue this series. I think that I get burnout pretty easily when I just go book to book to book, so I don't want to read some series books back to back. I'd rather take breaks. But yeah, anyway, the next thing I got was the last thing, really. But it's kind of a special pickup. So I was wanting to get the second book in the Bill Hodges trilogy, but it wasn't at the Barnes & Noble I went to today, and so that's gonna have to wait a bit. But I did see this, which looked really, really cool. It is, I believe it's the first 3 books. I can't remember if it's actually his first 3, but Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining. Now, I've already read The Shining, and I have a copy of The Shining. Right here. But I don't have the other 2, and that being said, I don't like this cover. I don't care about covers, but if I have the chance to get another cover, I will. And the cover that I found is one that I had been kind of looking for anyway, but I'd never seen it standalone. This one is so cool. But anyway, so this was kind of a bonus to have in this, but the other 2 books, Carrie, I think everybody knows what Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot are all about, but Carrie was in there. And Salem's Lot. I've never read either Carrie or Salem's Lot, so these 2 are going to be on my read list as well. They also have pretty cool covers. Carrie's all right, and then Salem's Lot looks pretty cool. But the main cover is the main cover was this Shining cover. This is a really cool book cover. But anyway, that's kind of what books I have right now, and that's actually every book on my bookshelf. I really don't want to buy more than I read, ideally. So I kind of do like a big pickup once every few months because I don't read very quickly. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and see you.